Hello, y'all. That's my southern drawl. Hi, everybody. Anyway, I don't have a clue what I'm going to talk about right now. I've had a good day. And by a good day, I mean I have been optimistic and pretty happy. And some days I'm not. Some days I don't have like a happy day, but today was pretty happy. Started out a little bit slow because we were going to go to the store and because I got paid last night, and that happened a little bit late because Jamie went out to lunch with a friend. So I didn't sleep well last night. I just couldn't go to sleep. I don't know, I had a lot on my mind, and I've had a lot on my mind all day today. I've been thinking about a lot of different things. Sometimes I do that because my brain, I thought that was so cute in the last video where I was talking about how I think all the time, and I had the little string over my head. If you haven't checked that out, go check out the last video I did. I thought that little curly Q string up and over my head was funny. But anyway, so he got back, what am I hearing? He got back 11-ish. 12-ish, something like that. And then I kind of whipped out of it, and they brought me back a Dunkin's Donuts coffee, full caffeine drink, so that kind of gave me a wee. But anyway, we headed off. We went to Walmart, and I'm just talking, so this is kind of a Tiddy Bit video, I guess. So Jamie he has a lot of chronic pain, and he gets really tired, and so I'm usually pretty rushed going to Walmart because I know he's going to get tired and he's going to wear out, and he's had a lot of injuries in his body very young, and so today we kind of took a different method because I would just send him to McDonald's in the Walmart to just sit for a little while and rest, and he'd come back and this and that. So we're trying to work out where I can actually have time to do shopping and think about what I'm doing. So we're still working out a lot of things when it comes to his caregiving and all of that. So Joe, he just walks around with me and does his thing. So Jamie and Joe are both 6'3". Jamie's a lot heavier, but I got some really big guys that walk on either side of me when I go to Walmart. And living in a place where everybody's mostly short, we kind of stand out, like a really big red-headed guy with extremely pale complexion stands out here a lot. So anyway, so I went to Walmart, and I had more leisure time, and I was walking around, and I decided to go through the toys. I do that occasionally. I still like dolls, but Jamie likes Hot Wheels and Matchbox, and there's certain things Joe likes, and every now and then I just want to go through the toys. I guess I always went to the toy department when my kids were little because I always bought them something, even if it was just $1 or $2 or something. I always bought them something. And I just got to thinking that really is my love language. I love to do things and buy things. I love to cook for people. I love to do things for them. and I love to buy things for them. And, you know, a lot of times people get the feeling that if you're just buying things, that you're kind of like manipulating, or you're just trying to buy their love, or it's some kind of cheap way to, you know, shirk parental responsibilities. You know, it's like, if I buy you toys, I don't have to play with you. That's really not what it was with me. I seriously, no matter how broke I was, I just wanted to buy something for my kids. It's, excuse me about Noogie barking. There's an ambulance taking one of our friends to the hospital. My phone's ringing again, so hang on. Let me see what this is. So she has seizures pretty often, and Jamie usually takes her husband to the hospital when she goes in the ambulance. And so we have that noise going on out there, and I don't know what this is about. I had a ding. Let me see. Check that. Life is always busy. It seems like it's just always busy. So anyway, Jamie's like the good Samaritan in the neighborhood. So bless his heart. So anyway, okay, back to it. I was shopping and I went through the toys, and I was thinking, I've had serious thoughts all day. It's just like, you know, being 65 years old, you know, you think more about death. You think more about being right with God. You think more about what you've done in your life, and what you've wasted, and what you've done wrong, time you've wasted, relationships that's failed, and if you could have done better, and all kinds of things. But I was thinking, I really just want to spoil my kids. I want to spoil my family. And now that's like a Southern phrase. So if you don't understand what that means, when people in the South say, I want to spoil you, that means that you want to do good things for them. You want to do so much for them that, you know, you just want to spoil them. It doesn't mean truly spoil a child or truly spoil a person. It just means that you want to do good things for them. But I was thinking, it's really simple what I want out of the rest of my life. I want to live in a place where I can enjoy the country and the green grass of home. And I want to do the things that I love, which are, you know, painting, sculpting, creating, YouTubing, writing. I love doing stuff like that. And I want to spoil my kids. I want to do things for them. I want to buy them things. I want to cook for them. I want to make happy holidays. I want to send them care packages, anything I can do. That is my love language. That's how I show that I love them. Now, yes, I haven't done everything right in my life, because I've had mental trauma, let's say, and I can turn into a whiny baby, or a baby playing tantrum. I'm getting over that, by the way. I am learning so much. In my old days, I haven't been a perfect mother. No, I get that. And I remind myself every single day. But that is my love language, giving and doing for. Anything that I can do to make somebody happy. There's a few things that would throw a hammer in that, or throw a wrench in that. Like, say for instance, if I think somebody doesn't really care about me, or they don't like me, or if they've lied on me, or something like kind of major like that, I might not feel like that towards them. But especially when it comes to my four. You know, I've got Jamie and Joe, and I've got a daughter and son-in-law who, even though there's been times it wasn't easy with all four of them, They are the apples of my eyes. And that's what I want to spend my life doing. And it feels good to me, whether it feels good to anybody or not. But there's something that I've learned about love languages. What is your love language may not be another person's love language. So, like a perfect fit, and I don't know all of the love languages, so bear with me if I get this wrong. But say your love language is like mine. It's say like giving. And the person that you're giving to, their love language is words of affirmation. And you're constantly giving them gifts, buying them things. No. That's Noogie. And he thinks he's barking at something. And you're constantly giving them things and buying them things, and what they really need from you is words of affirmation. Then, they're like, would you quit buying me stuff? That might be the thing that they do. Or would you quit, giving me things or doing things for me? Or, somebody that's really weight conscious, you don't want to like bake them a cake every week, right? So you have to be mindful of the other person's love language. So it might be affection. It might be words of affirmation. It could be gifts. It could be just kind deeds. I don't really know. I haven't actually studied that. I just know that I get personal pleasure out of giving people things and making them surprises and sending them gifts or whatever. But I know people that wouldn't be their thing because they live kind of a minimalist life, and you have to kind of be careful what you're giving them, but they need words of affirmation or validation. So it's really important to find out what the other person, the person you love, what their words of affirmation are. So I've really struggled with this because, like, for instance, I don't even know. It's just like when you meet a person, like when I met Jamie, and I had to learn that he had a real deficit in validation and words of affirmation. And he's pretty sensitive to feeling like he's being left out or but this all comes from his PTSD and some childhood trauma and things that he's went through in school and stuff like that. And sometimes we take a hard heart towards these things. And I think I have many times. No, Noogie. So you see somebody like that and they're grown up, they're essentially an adult, and you're like, you're too old for this. You need to just get over this. Well, no. I'm having to pet him. He's wanting me to throw his red shoe. He has these red, if I can take it from him, these red shoes. And he likes to play fetch. So you don't ever tell a person, no matter how old they are, that they just need to get over something. Because if they need to get over something, yes, you want them to, but they have to grow into it. They have to take on awareness. They have to adapt and find coping skills. It's just like me with my abandonment. Yeah, I'm 65 years old. You would think that by now I'd be over having abandonment issues from infancy, right? But those traumas never go away. They don't go away. And if you had trauma at 14, 16, 20, and you are 100, those traumas never go away until they're dealt with. And I can think of things that other people have went through, and it may have been very, very young. Say, for instance, if a child, a baby, is carried in its mother's womb, it's used to the heartbeat of that mother, right? It's used to the sounds of the mother's voice. That baby is going to have a connection to its mother. These are things that I've learned through years of study. If that baby is taken away from its mother at infancy or in birth, and given to someone else, it's going to be difficult for that baby to bond with someone else, because that baby's not used to the heartbeat. That baby's not used to the voice. That baby is not used to the rhythms of this other person that's not its mother. And if a baby does not bond with its mother, that want, that need is going to be with that infant the rest of its life. And that needs to be, that bonding needs to happen at some point. It may not be possible, but this is why children that are adopted out actively seek to find their birth mother or their birth parents. You know, it's the same way with a baby that's carried in the mother's womb, and the dad, you know, talks to the baby. You know, the baby gets used to the dad's voice. The baby will even get used to the sound of the animals in the house and the house. But if that bond is broken in infancy, there will never be a time that there is not going to be somewhat of a feeling of lack. And healing won't come until there is some sort of bonding. And that may be difficult, because some women don't bond with their children. Some families don't seek to have a close bond. And I don't even know why I'm rambling on about all of this stuff. It's just things that I've been considering today. Another thing that I was considering today is, you know, like I said, I've had some pretty serious thoughts today. And while I was walking, I have so many eye issues. And while I was walking around, and even now as I sit here, if I look around, everything looks frosty. I have really, really bad eyes. And I know I'm going to have to go to a specialist. I'm going to have surgery. And I'm going to have a lot of special attention given to my eyes. But if I couldn't do that, I have high hopes that with a specialist and surgery that my eyes are going to improve. But as I'm going right now, I am losing my vision. And everything has just become so frosty that I don't see well at all. Like, there's Post-it notes on my computer tower sitting right in front of me here. And I have written something on these Post-it notes, and it's written quite big, because I always write big so I can reread what I've written. And I, from this distance, which is like arm's length, I can't read it. And, sorry, my nose is itching. And when you start having thoughts like this, knowing that, you know, you're not getting any younger, which I still plan to do my anti-aging program. We'll see how that goes. I'm still waiting for it's like this life is like all about waiting. So right now I'm waiting to get the paperwork signed and get everything turned in where my income will increase. And then when my income increases, then I can start taking a few supplements that I want to get for my eyes and my anti-aging supplements. And I can start buying better food. And it's like everything is wait. It is so hard, because it goes on for weeks and months, but I know it's going to happen. So anyway, but when thinking about my eyes, I was thinking, you know, how long do I have that I can look into the face of my loved ones? and see their faces. And I don't want to waste any time. Now, I'm planning to live to 120. That's what I always tell everybody. If I anti-age quite a bit, that's possible. Science is saying now that if you live to 10 more years, that you probably will live to be over 100 because science and, medical and stuff, advancements. But anyway, so, this video has been, I'm going on like 20 minutes now, but today has been a day of deep thought. And the only thing I ask out of life going forward is that I can spend the rest of my days doing what I love to do and loving my family. Now, I've got fantastic children, and I include an amazing son-in-law and Jamie. I call, Jamie's 25. And, but to me, the four of them, they're amazing. They're just amazing. They're smart. They don't need me to tell them anything because they're smart enough to figure out anything they want to figure out. But I just want to spend my days, and I'm not going to cry. I want to spend my face looking in their face and loving them. And giving everything. I don't need anything. I don't need anything. But giving everything I can to them. For my sake. Because that's my love language. Their love language, I'm starting to learn a little bit better. But I want to make sure that I fulfill their love language, not just mine. I mean, what if I give them a bunch of junk and they want to donate it or give it away? I won't be insulted. Oh, life can be so silly. We walk out of it without anything. We go out as butt naked as we came in. And the only thing that we have when we leave this life is our memories and the good deeds we've done. And the only thing that we can take to heaven is our kids. So, I'm just really messed up tonight, aren't I? This is like just a hobbledy-gobbledy mess of Tiddy Bits. I want to give an update because I have been talking to myself. And I had an issue that was bothering me a little bit last night, and I just really practiced that talking to myself, and I talked to myself right out of it. It was really quite amazing. I think talking to yourself is very therapeutic. So I've had 2 days of being busy, and so I really didn't get my work done. I need to do housework. So what I've done, because I'm ADHD, and literally nothing stays in my mind, and I can walk around 2 or 3 rooms and not know what I went into them for, and that's not senility, that's definitely ADHD. I've been doing that my whole life. But what I did, and it was working out perfectly for me, is I essentially broke down my days into morning, noon, and night, and then I got a couple of other lists of, I got a to-do list, I got a appointment list, I got a bunch of lists that I created on Google Task. And it was a little bit difficult to get used to it, but essentially you just make list of things, and then under the list you make a list of tasks that have to be completed, and it's got a place where you can put down how often you need to do it, and if it's repeated, and what day, and what time, and all that stuff. So essentially I have broken down my days into 3-5 minute tasks. Some of them, like washing dishes, are going to take naturally just a little bit longer than that, but it's covering essentially everything I need to do all day long. That's including giving everybody their medicines and feeding the animals, and there's just a lot. And I can't believe I do what I do in a day, but it's pretty crazy. And then to get a notification, the task list itself doesn't send you a notification, but if you are logged into Google Calendars and they're linked, whatever you put on the task list will automatically go into Google Calendar, and then Google Calendar will send you a notification. Now, the problem with that is they'll send you a notification, but it's just like a ding on your phone, and then you'd have to go pick up your phone and read it. But what I did was I downloaded Speaky. And Speaky is like an Android app. It's free to use. And then you just have to go into your apps list and check off that you want Google Calendar to be under it. So it's actually an onboard narrator. So instead of just getting a ding and being notified, oh, it's time to feed the dogs, or it's time to give Jamie his shots, or whatever, it's actually telling me over my phone. Kind of gets on Jamie's nerves because she's like, the tasks that you need to do now are the name novel. But I need that accountability, and I need that, to keep me on task, because there is a lot that has to be done. And if I have a down day, or a day where I just don't feel like I can get it all done, I kind of just do the most important ones. This doesn't happen very often. Or I will hit all of them. I just don't do them perfectly, because everybody has days where it's not possible to do every single thing. So like today, going to the store, it just hindered me so much that I couldn't do every single thing. But I am getting verbal notifications from Speaky, and that is fantastic. So, and then I keep adding lists, and I keep adding things that I want to do. And it's been surprising to me, because you think, oh, I'm going to go clean out the cat litter box. And you've got down 5 minutes for, and it takes you, like 2.5, 3 minutes or something like that. It's, you actually get more done this way too, because, just imagine just doing one task every 5 minutes. Well, I know I've rambled on, and I've talked, but there was just a lot of things that I wanted to say. And I can't really think of anything else. Oh, going forward, I am really tired of doing the whole talking head thing. And I am going to start literally vlogging. So I've got a lot of ideas of certain things that I'm going to do to try. Okay, so this is another thing. How far have I went? 27 minutes. So I had been, when I first started, like a year and a half or so ago, my agoraphobia was so bad, and my nerves were so bad, and I was still overcoming the major surgery I had to remove my dead gallbladder, and I was still regaining some brain cells from the encephalitis, and my nerves were incredibly bad. And I had, quote, this friend that was not as much of a friend as I thought, and she was kind of like tormenting me in a certain way, trying to be helpful, but anyway, I'm not going to go into all that. But it was a pretty toxic relationship, and I was struggling. I was broken out in hives for months from anxiety. So I had a lot to overcome. And at that point in time, I had a safe space that was literally like a 3x3 square sitting on my bed. The rest of my house felt unsafe to me. And so my goal was to gradually keep expanding. And I was going through therapy, therapy like 2 and 3 times a week. And I was gradually expanding my safe space. Well, now my safe space covers the entire trailer, and I feel very safe, and I have really, what you'd say, broken out. But I am wanting to increase that safe space to the yard. Well, it's not an ideal situation because we live in the desert, and it's hot in the summer, cold in the winter, but it stays relatively dry, but it's not a happy space to claim. And so I've been thinking of little things that I could do to make me feel happier in the yard. So I think just out of discipline, I am going to start working on the yard. And I saw this really cute thing the other day. This lady was decorating for fall, and she had bought a bunch of the little bouquet things like that you can get at the Dollar Tree. And it was like, I think it was mums, actually, like gold colored mums. And she took this basket and she cut up a pool noodle just high enough to fit them all down in the basket. And then all she did was cram these bouquets of like these orange mums down in the pool noodle holes in this basket. And it just looked like a basket of mums. It was absolutely gorgeous. And so I just got all kinds of things I'd like to do like that, relatively cheap, because while I'm doing that, I've got to save money and I've got to pay things off and I got to do all kinds of stuff. But it really kind of excited me. And I'm just thinking of cheap ways that I'm thinking about starting to shop off of Temu when I do get extra money for things that are like actually get them cheaper. But I'm scared that's not my safe space yet. So if I do that, I'll probably have Jamie help me a few times till I get my nerve built up. So anyway, I know I've rambled on and on and on, but going forward, I'm going to share some cooking. I'm going to share some like gardening. I'm going to share some decorating and maybe some crafting, and just do segments where I can just have a more broken up, not just a headshot. And this, if nobody likes this channel, I'm not like I'm not trying to force people to like my channel. This is not everybody's cup of tea. This is not everybody's kickstart. But this is therapy for me, because you can only talk to people so much about you until they get tired. If you get tired of listening to me talk about me, and I do try to include other people, and I try to include things that are going to be helpful, because if I can overcome some of the things that I've been through, anybody can overcome it, because I'm not that strong. I'm not that great. I'm not that smart. I'm just not. I have got an 8th grade education, and then after I turned 14, I spent 20 years in more or less isolation, just learning farm stuff like gardening and chickens and stuff like that. So I have grown in smarts over time. And then when I come out of that at 34, I spent 20 years out on another like homestead, raising my children and barely having enough nerve to just get in the car and go to the grocery store. And then I went from that to bad to worse with mental illness, with the encephalitis and sepsis that was in my body and all of that stuff. So it's just like crazy. But I am not that strong. I am not that smart. I am not that great. As a matter of fact, sometimes I'm ridiculously weak. But I do what I do by the grace of God. And if you don't feel like you can handle it, seek the face of God. Pray. Ask Jesus to help you, because Jesus is always there. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say goodbye. And I really, really love you all. And I appreciate everybody that watches. And I'll see you on the next video.